Hello, TradingView community. Welcome to my new analysis about USD, Euro, and several time frame perspectives. And within my analysis, I have spotted some really important developments that I'm going to discuss within my analysis today. And within the recent times, USD, Euro has shown up with some historical developments that are likely to convert the world price action into a major development, into a major volatility price action acceleration within the next times, especially when the major confirmations show up that I have detected within the whole underlying price action, as well as the underlying factors that are going to transform the whole USD Euro chart into a major breakout development within the next times. And first of all, USD Euro has shown up with this huge pump to the upside here within the recent times, printing over 5% to the upside. And this was an initial major development that should not be underestimated here, because the USD Euro exchange rate is showing up with these important bullish developments. And therefore, there are also underlying factors that are actually supporting this bullish case here for USD Euro. And the first factor is that the US CPI is declining more and more within the recent times and is showing up with more and more lower levels within the recent times. This is actually supporting a bullish USD Euro, especially a bullish DXI, what has been seen within the recent times. Also, there are also other factors that are supporting this major pump to the upside. The second factor is that the dovish interest rate policy expectations are increasing more and more. This means that the Fed could return to dovish policies, which is also a bullish indication for USD Euro to break out in this whole structure. The third major indication that is actually supporting a bullishness within the USD Euro chart is the factor that the demand expenditures, the consumer expenditures are rising more and more, and this is likely to pump a lot of volume within the USD Euro chart into the bullish directions. And we're looking at this whole chart now. What has been mentioned from a chart technical perspective is that USD Euro has this major descending trend line within this whole structure, within it, which it bounced already several times to the upside. These are some really important developments here. USD Euro had the ability to bounce several times to the upside. And these are some major developments that should not be underestimated here, because, especially with the third bounce, USD Euro has printed a major, strong, bullish development towards the upper directions, printing several new highs here within this whole structure and forming this major ascending trend line within this whole structure, which is a really ascending trend line, because the USD Euro has important support zones within this whole ascending trend line, and this is marking the importance of this whole ascending trend line to a much more overwhelmingly high bullish level, because the more often this ascending trend line is actually marked as a major support, the higher the possibility that the USD Euro chart actually has the ability to form further developments above the structure. Also, especially as this major ascending trend line is actually matching with the 35 EMA as a important support cluster within this whole structure. And also, when looking at this whole dynamic here, the USD Euro chart is now penetrating this upper boundary here within this whole structure. And this is actually a major important penetration of this upper boundary in this whole structure, because the more often this upper boundary is penetrated, the higher the possibility becomes that a final breakout above this upper boundary is going to accelerate the price action into the bullish direction, from where the USD Euro chart has further potentials to show up with a major breakout above these upper boundaries. And therefore, this is a major development within the next times that should be considered within the next times, especially as the USD Euro chart has this major development now building up here within this whole structure and is actually attempting a final breakout above the upper boundary here. And once this final breakout has shown up as I am marking it here now within my chart, once this final breakout has shown up as it is marked in my chart, once this final breakout has shown up, this is going to accelerate the price action heavily above this level, especially above this upper boundary trend line. And in this case, USD Euro is going to accelerate the upper target zones and is going to mark important target zones within this whole structure. The minimum target zones of this whole breakout development, once it has been shown up, will be the 0.98 level. Above these levels, these will be the minimum levels. The 0.98 level will be the minimum level once this major breakout has shown up. And especially in this case, USD Euro is also confirming this major volatility, bullish volatility cycle, which is a really important bullish volatility cycle within this whole structure. And especially once these major target zones have been reached, once the major target zones above 0.98 level have been reached. This is actually a important structure, because if the bullish momentum is holding on here with USD Euro, this is actually offering a setup from where USD Euro has the potential to continue further into this direction, especially when the momentum is high, when the US CPI declines further, when the demand expenditures are increasing further within the next times. Also, when the DXI is going to accelerate further within the next times, all these factors are playing into this bullish direction for the USD Euro forex exchange rate, especially as the major inflation rates within the European Eurozone are highly accelerating within the next times. This high inflation is followed up by a major increased high interest rate environment. This is an important factor that is actually making USD Euro, especially within this whole structure, highly bullish within this whole movement, especially as there are huge recession, stagflation, and war economic developments within the Eurozone that are actually transforming this whole USD Euro chart into a more bullish structure. And the only potential of how this whole development could invalidate to the downside would be when USD Euro shows up with huge supply developments, increasing the huge supply, decreasing here below this ascending trend line, also falling below the 35 EMA. This is an important level to watch out for a invalidation. If this whole structure should invalidate, this will happen once the breakout has shown up below this ascending trend line and below the 35 EMA within this whole structure. Once such a breakdown has shown up, this is going to invalidate the current scenario. Therefore, these are the two scenarios that should be watched out for the next times. The first scenario is the scenario of the final breakout. When this final breakout happens and the conditions stay as mentioned, then this is going to accelerate the bullish price action. Otherwise, when this does not happen and the breakdown below this ascending trend line happens, especially the breakdown below the 35 EMA, this is going to show up with the second scenario breaking down below these levels. And in this case, the next important zone, in this case, once this breakdown has shown up, is going to be this lower boundary support zone here within this whole structure, and this will be an important support zone. Therefore, these are the two scenarios that should be watched out here within the next times. If the inflation developments are going to decrease further within the next times, this is likely to have a bullish effect on the USD Euro rate. Otherwise, when the major developments should change within the next times and there should be a major market disruption to show up with huge supply moving into the USD Euro development, then the second scenario is what should be watched out here within the next times. And therefore, these are some really important developments to consider here within this whole structure. And this is why I am going to keep this symbol on my watch list and re-evaluate the situation once important changes have shown up within the whole market, because this will such a conversional, transformational development that is going to be a really important consideration for USD euro within the next times. And with this being said, it will be great when you support my project further with a like, follow, and comment so you don't miss any important market analysis, indication, updates within my project. And with this being said, have a good day. Bye bye.